If you clicked on this video, you might be thinking about moving to Maple Valley, Washington, and before you do, you have to watch this. I have a couple reasons why you might want to reconsider. I'm Larissa. I'm a Washington realtor and Pacific Northwest native, and I love educating home buyers and sellers about our area. If you have questions about the process of buying or selling real estate in Washington, check out my free downloads below or drop me a message and I would love to connect. Of my 5 reasons, you might be most shocked to hear about number 4 and why people are telling me this is a bad reason to move. So first on my list, if you're thinking about moving to Maple Valley, Washington, you absolutely have to be aware about the traffic that is coming in and out of Maple Valley. About 15 years ago, Maple Valley was this tiny little spot on the map, and there really wasn't any infrastructure built out for how many homes there are now. And so if you're trying to get to Maple Valley from 18, you have a one-way road in. And if you're trying to leave Maple Valley, you've got one road out. And while Maple Valley is fantastic for people who need the proximity to Issaquah or a feeder into Bellevue, it is a work in progress in terms of the road infrastructure. Both the city of Covington as well as Maple Valley have a ton of plans to improve this in the near future, so it might not really be an impact to you, and it is still something you need to know if you are planning to move to Maple Valley just for the ease of access to Issaquah or going up Tiger Mountain Pass. That road right now is a bit of a headache, and it's going to probably take you longer than you're thinking. The second reason why you might want to reconsider moving to Maple Valley is the price of homes in the area. Now, Maple Valley has some of the top-rated schools around, and it has proximity to Issaquah and Bellevue, and because of those things, the home prices have skyrocketed. A lot of Maple Valley is brand new homes or newer homes, and those homes now are selling for a premium over the city right next door, Covington, where the same home is selling for a couple $100,000 less. Yes, you heard me correctly, a couple $100,000 less if you just go one more city over. So Maple Valley is this beautiful town. It has amazing schools, and you are going to be paying a premium on the homes to get it. If you have questions about purchasing homes in Maple Valley, Washington, I have a link below to a custom home search that's already set up for you, and you can get an idea of the price of homes in Maple Valley. Okay, the next reason why Maple Valley may or may not be a good option for you is the access to shopping. Now, if you're anything like me, you probably like to go browse the mall or shop for things outside of just Fred Meyer's and Safeway grocery. However, Maple Valley doesn't really have this as an option. There's no major malls nearby. There's really just suburban shopping. And while there are some home decor shopping options nearby, we also have an Ulta in Covington for makeup. There's really not a ton of clothing options outside of like Walmart and Fred Meyer. So if shopping proximity is important to you, you're gonna be driving all the way up to Snoqualmie, over to Bellevue for shopping, or going down to Auburn, and each one of those is at least 30 minutes out of the way. So if shopping is a priority for you, Maple Valley is not going to be a good option, and I would highly recommend a couple other areas. If you want those other areas, I do have other videos, and so feel free to check those out on best shopping specific suburbs in the area. All right, number 4, this is what you guys have been waiting for. This is the biggest shocker to me when people complain about Maple Valley is how many trees are there. I know that sounds a little wild, people complaining about how many trees there are, but it is true that Maple Valley has a lot of old trees. You're basically in the middle of a forest, and for some people that can be scary when we get high winds or storms and those trees aren't maintained. They can fall on homes. So if you're moving to Maple Valley, you're going to have big trees in your backyard. You're going to have a lot of shade as well. You're effectively living in a forest, and so you've got to maintain those trees and keep up on them. Otherwise, you could run into safety risks as well as other hazards when we do get big windstorms, because that does happen in the area, and it's important to keep your house and yourself and your neighbors protected. I've even had a client who on a regular basis has an arborist come out and check the health of their trees, and so that is something that you can do if you are concerned about that at all. But that was one of the biggest shocks that I had, and I have to agree that I think it's important to keep in mind if you have a fear of these big trees around, you are going to have them pretty much everywhere in Maple Valley. Now with trees, of course, comes our proximity to the mountains. You have super easy access to ski resorts, and you just are going to have an absolutely incredibly beautiful area and neighborhood to live in. But it is something to keep in mind, and maybe one of those reasons why you might not want to move to the area if you have any fears or concerned around trees falling on your house. Okay, and then my last reason of maybe not wanting to move to Maple Valley is going to be the proximity to Seattle. Now, Seattle and Maple Valley, they don't mix. Maple Valley is way out of the way from that area. In fact, it is not a really reasonable commute if you are planning to go into the city. With that, I will say that most of the people in Maple Valley are feeding into Issaquah. As you guys probably know, if you're familiar with the area, Costco is in Issaquah, or people are even going into Bellevue or Snoqualmie from Maple Valley. So if you are needing access to Seattle, probably not the best place for you, but if you do want access to Bellevue, Issaquah, Snoqualmie, and you're wanting to have newer, nicer homes, Maple Valley could be a good fit. If you want other pros and cons about neighborhoods around the Seattle suburbs, check out some of my other videos. I have a ton of resources as well. And if you ever have questions, you're always welcome to reach out to me directly.